Hello, everyone. I hope that you're doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha, and I welcome you to my channel. As always, I'm so grateful that you're listening, subscribing, and commenting. I really appreciate the support. In this one, I wanted to speak to you about anxiety. And I've noticed recently that one of the tools that I've been using to alleviate my anxiety has been working very powerfully. And so I wanted to really share it with you because no matter who we are, no matter where we are, I'm sure anxiety is one of those things that we're constantly dealing with, especially right now when there's a lot of random things going on in the world and it feels like we're kind of living in the middle, in the eye of a storm. Everything around is kind of going crazy and we're kind of trying to stay calm within ourselves. I noticed that random anxiety attacks will hit me randomly out of nowhere, and I'll just be sitting there, I'll be doing my work, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I feel it coming, and I feel that anxiety coming within me, bubbling up within me. And usually what I would do in the past is I would just sit with it. And I've told you before that leaning into your anxiety and really feeling it in your body, letting it kind of percolate and, understanding it is a good idea. But recently I've been realizing that a lot of the anxiety I've been feeling is not related to anything particular to me, but it's related to the environment and the atmosphere in general. I think a lot of the anxiety that I'm feeling is related to the anxiety that a lot of people in this world are feeling. A lot of the anxiety that people are feeling because of all the different things going on the planet, because of the pandemic, because of all the people dying, because of all the movements, obviously, the BLM, the Black Lives Matter, the trans movements, all the different things going on the planet, important things, absolutely crucial and necessary things, but also causing people anxiety, of course, right? And so in order to understand that, it means that we can't just understand it by being in our bodies because it has nothing to do with particularly us. It has nothing to do with anything that we are feeling or anything that we are doing. It's something to do with the negative ions in the atmosphere that are just all around us. And we've just picked up on it because of the empathic nature of our hearts and our sensitive bodies, right? We're just like a tuning fork. We're kind of tuning into the world, and the world right now is a little bit anxious. And so all of a sudden we'll be, we're calm, and all of a sudden we tune into that anxiety because something we read or because something happened or something just randomly something comes at us. We're not even aware of it, and all of a sudden we're feeling anxious. And so if this is the kind of anxiety you're feeling, and you can kind of go into your heart for a second when you start feeling anxious and start thinking, okay, is this anxiety I'm feeling because of something happening in my life? Is it because I didn't pay that bill? Is that why I'm feeling anxious? Or is it because I lost my job? Is that why I'm feeling anxious? Or is it because I had a fight with my mother? Is that why I'm feeling kind of like gauge within yourself? Is it something to do with yourself, with your own life? And if it isn't, if there's nothing going on in your life right now that could possibly potentially cause you anxiety, then it might be something from the outside in. And that's something you can't control. And that's, again, one thing that we have to realize is that we have no control over the outside world. All we have control over is our reaction to the outside world. And so what I've been noticing is that really leaning into this kind of outside anxiety, outside fueled anxiety, is not really useful because it doesn't really help. Yeah, you can lean into it a little bit or you can feel it a bit in your body, but a lot of it has to be dissipated. It literally has to be, it's like you probably seen ducks doing this. They'll kind of do a little bit of a fight and they'll be doing something, and afterwards they'll flap their wings really fast to get rid of all that anxious energy or the restless energy that they've accumulated because of the confrontation they had with another duck. That's basically what we have to do as well. We have to let go of that restless, anxious energy from within our bodies by dissipating it, by kind of letting it go into the atmosphere or letting it go into the earth. And so in these moments, grounding and walking in nature is a really good idea. Now, a lot of you probably live in the city and you're like, well, I don't have any greenery around me. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have greenery around you. Just a walk in general, I found, is very useful in these moments. So as I said, nowadays when I start feeling that kind of outside fueled anxiety, I'll kind of just go for a walk instantaneously because literally in that moment in time, I'm completely useless. I can't do any work because I'm filled with anxiety. I can't focus on doing my videos or doing my podcasts or anything because I'm just like, I'm kind of bubbling up with all this restless anxiety. And so as I said, as soon as possible, as soon as I can, I will, pick up my baseball cap if it's sunny outside, or I'll pick up my phone and I'll go outside wearing my shoes and I'll walk outside as soon as possible. Yeah. So as soon as I'm outside, for me, I'm lucky. I have a little bit of a green area right next to me. So I'll take off my shoes and I'll start walking on the grass so that I'm grounded to the earth. And so any kind of restless anxiety that's within me can literally just kind of dissipate into the earth. It's a very powerful way of grounding yourself and getting rid of anxiety. That's one of the reasons why it's highly recommended that you walk barefoot every single day. And in fact, our ancestors really rarely wore shoes unless they were actually hunting or something like that. If they were outside hunting or gathering, they would wear something to protect their feet. But mostly if they were on their own, if they're just in their house or in their communities, in their villages, they wouldn't wear shoes because they wanted to be connected to the earth. That's how you'd know what's going on with the earth. And so walking barefoot, of course, is a great idea. Again, if there's no green area around you, you won't be able to do that necessarily, but just walking in general with something that's a natural material. So not wearing shoes that are made of plastic, Crocs. A lot of people are wearing Crocs nowadays, and of course that means that you have a disconnection from the earth. So wearing something that's a natural fiber. A lot of people are going, wearing shoes that are made of synthetic fibers or natural fibers, like perhaps even leather. If you're vegan, then wear something that helps you connect more to the earth. There's lots of options out there. And so the going out there and then connecting to the earth that way, walking slowly, purposefully, consciously, noticing all the things around you, noticing the breeze, the sun, the trees, the birds, hearing the sounds, hearing the cicadas, chirping away, hearing the birds chirping away, hearing the leaves rustling in the wind, kind of just stopping and making yourself extremely still and mindful and actually experiencing what's going on around you. And as soon as you're able to do that, you will notice, and I noticed it actually almost instantaneously, that I would have been a bubble of anxiety before that. And all of a sudden, as soon as I start walking outside, as soon as the sun hits my skin and warms me up, as soon as the breeze ruffles my hair, all of a sudden, as if I am a completely different human being, I'm not anxious anymore. It literally is like a switch of a button. And it's so fast and powerful that sometimes I wonder to myself if I'm insane. I'm like, is this really happening right now? And so I really wanted to share this with you because a lot of you are probably feeling some kind of anxiety right now, as I said, because of the environment that we're living in. But also in general, there are lots of things going on, and sometimes anxiety just comes up and you just have to deal with it. And as I said, I found this to be a very powerful way of dealing with it, and very simple as well. It's as simple as walking, and walking is the easiest thing to do. I mean, we learn, all of us mostly learn it when we are children, hopefully. And so, we walk around and we just let go of that anxiety and negative energy to the atmosphere, to the earth. We just let it go. We just give it away. We don't hold on to it anymore. And as soon as you become more mindful of the environment around you, the atmosphere around you, not the anxious atmosphere, but the world around you, with the birds, they're just chirping away, doing their thing. And all of a sudden you realize, whatever I was being anxious about is not as important as the world I live in. The sun is still shining, no matter what's going on in the world. The breeze is still blowing. The clouds are still beautiful. The world is still amazingly gorgeous. The nature is still around you, going about its business, no matter what's going on in the world. And all of that kind of just plugs you back into the natural world, which is something a lot of us are obviously missing as human beings. We live in concrete jungles and we have no connection to the earth. We have no connection to the natural world. And that causes a lot of anxiety for human beings in general. We're not supposed to live in environments like this, right? We're supposed to, our ancestors for the longest time, until 100, 200, 300 years ago, used to live in communities where a lot of time was spent outside, a lot of time was spent outdoors, working with the earth, working with the fields, working with flowers and trees and plants and animals, like just being around nature. And so, of course, the best way, as I said, to get rid of that anxiety is to plug back in to that natural source of energy and let go of that anxiety to the earth. And you'll notice it literally kind of like melts away from your body and kind of goes away to the earth, and the earth takes it. The earth is beautiful. Mother Earth just kind of takes all of our anxiety and gives us back positive energy. And so a lot of this probably sounds like a little bit abstract and a little bit woo-woo to you, but really, I've tried it many times in the past few weeks. Every single time I feel anxiety, I just go for a walk. It's as simple as that. It's so simple, really, and that's why I think to myself, it can't be that important or useful. But then I decided, well, it's been very useful to me, so I really wanted to share it with my viewers, with you guys. hopefully it helps you as well. If it does, or if you're already doing this, I would love to hear from you. If it doesn't, then I'd love to hear from you as well, because I want to know, what did you do and why didn't it work? Because maybe it doesn't work for everyone. Maybe I'm just a weird case. Maybe there are some people who are just, connected to the earth and some are not. I don't know. But I really believe that this is one of those things that could really help change your perspective on anxiety, because instantaneously dissipates. And then what happens to me is I just come back to work. I'll be like, oh, it's gone. I feel better already. Okay, cool. I'm excited and ready to work again. And I'll go back to my desk, go back to my house, go back to my desk, and start working again. Right? And it's as easy as that. And it really is so powerful that I really hope that you will take upon it yourself to try it out at least once or twice. If you have any questions, comment below and I shall do a follow-up video. Again, thank you so much for being on my channel. I really appreciate your support, and I shall see you the next time around. Bye for now.